repeating this. Congressman John Lewis, civil rights icon, brave man, yes, indeed. He says the Trump presidency is not legitimate, and because of that, he will not go to the inauguration. Crystal Wright is with us. She's the author of Con Job and a frequent guest on the program. All right, Crystal, I want to deal with this in two parts. Number one, what is your opinion of John Lewis saying the presidency of Trump is not legitimate? Your response to that, first of all.
John Lewis's comments about President-elect Donald Trump are completely disrespectful. And apparently John Lewis only thinks a legitimate presidency would be one that Hillary Clinton was running. And, you know, what I want to know is what has John Lewis done since he marched on Selma? Really, he's riding on the coattails of something that happened over 50 years ago. And it's just, you know, to me, his position in Congress is illegitimate. Okay.
Right after Mr. Lewis said that, Donald Trump tweeted a response. He's saying, look, Mr. Lewis, you should really take care of your own district. You're all talk, talk, talk. You've no action. Now, after Trump tweeted that, there was a very strong response against Trump because he'd been gone up against this civil rights icon. And a lot more people joined the boycott of the inauguration. What do you think of Trump's response to John Lewis?
I think Trump had the appropriate response to John Lewis, who showed utter disrespect to the president-elect. Oh, so Donald Trump, our future president, is supposed to just allow these attacks because John Lewis is so-called off-limits, but he's protected because he's a black Democrat congressman who happened to march and fight for civil rights? Give me a break. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Now, do you think that, I mean, at the heart of this delegitimizing movement is race, isn't it? I mean, because
absolutely. If Donald Trump was not white and a Republican, John Lewis would have no problem with anything that he said, how he's conducting his presidency, using social media, by the way, Stewart, to connect with the American people directly and bypass the liberal mainstream media who wants to distort everything he says. And if John Lewis was not black, nobody would care what he is saying. If he wasn't a black Democrat, a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, John Lewis has done more for himself over the last 50-plus years than he's done for black people.
Well, Crystal, how about the two black ladies who have become YouTube stars, Diamond and Silk? They're on the show on Friday talking about Mr. Obama's legacy. Roll that tape.
He is putting it on the platform that we're going to rebuild these inner and urban cities, and all of this crime is going to stop because he said he was going to do it, yes. And we believe that he's going to do what he said he was going to do.
And his track record speaks for itself. He's done more in the last 8 weeks than Obama have did in the last 8 years.
We'd like to tell everybody that that clip appeared on Facebook feeds to more than 2 million people. What's your thoughts on it, Crystal?
Well, look, I think Diamond and Silk offer a lot of comedy, but somewhere in their comedy is always kernels of truth. I think they're absolutely right. Donald Trump, in the mere 8 weeks that he was elected president, has done more for black Americans than President Obama did for 8 years, even though blacks voted overwhelmingly, over 90% for Obama. And namely, let's talk about Carrier. Those jobs that Donald Trump saved at the Carrier plant in Indiana, over 50% black people work at that plant. And like Diamond and Silk said, Donald Trump is addressing the problems that affect black Americans. I don't know, homicide going on in cities like Chicago. And Donald Trump is saying, hey, I get it. I'm going to do something about it. And you know what? Varney, Donald Trump is meeting with so-called black advocates in Trump Tower. He's not even in the White House yet. He's saying, hey, I want to hear, what are your problems? You know how long it took President-elect, President Obama to meet with the Congressional Black Caucus? After he was elected, it took a whole year. Because you know what? Black votes mattered to President Obama, not black lives.
All right. Crystal Wright, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it on this day. Thank you.